What really obvious thing have you only just realized? Story 1. I was like 25 when I found out the jugs of washer fluid outside the gas station aren't free. I was walking out of the gas station with a buddy one day, grabbed a jug of washer fluid, and he asked me, "Did you just steal that?" And I was like, "No dude, it's free." "It's not. I stole washer fluid for nearly 10 years of driving and no one ever said anything to me about it." Reply. As someone who used to work at a gas station for minimum wage, if some asshole is bold enough to steal the washer fluid like that, I'm not getting in the middle of it. Reply 2. That reminds me of something similar for me. For several years, anytime I was at my local mall, I would just pop into the Godiva shop for the free samples of chocolate-covered strawberries and go about my merry way. Eventually one day, I walked in and they were under lock and key with a price tag next to them. I asked the shopkeep when they started charging for them and she told me they never did an LOL. Hey! Subscribe for more. Story 2. How the American bail system works. I thought it was a sum of money you paid to avoid jail. I was surprised when I realized you get the money back if you show up for your trial. Reply. Doesn't have to be cash unless it's specified as a cash bond. A lot of places will allow you to put up land as your bail as well. Reply 2. Yep, it's a surety against you not running off before trial so you can be outside of jail. Story 3. Not me, but my 21-year-old cousin just realized he is mildly allergic to peanut butter, and has been his whole life. Up until now, he had assumed everyone's throat closed up a little while eating a PB&J sandwich, but they just fought through it. Reply. Reminds me of a post I saw on Tumblr back in the day. Someone didn't realize they were allergic to bananas until they found out that you shouldn't be having a burning feeling in your mouth from eating them. Reply 2. I had to tell an ex-boyfriend that mango isn't a tingly tasting fruit and he was allergic, and the more he ate it the more likely he was to develop a strong reaction someday. It remains his favorite fruit. Story 4. Water towers are for water pressure, not just a town putting its name on a tank and saying, "Hey, look how much dang water we have." Reply. And they're not really to store water as they are to add pressure via gravity. Reply 2. They also store water to compensate for peak demand hours. This prevents the pumps from switching on and off frequently. They are literally designed for peak demand. Story 5. There's a local plumbing company called Abacus with a tagline, "You can count on us." After 20 years, I realized their logo was an abacus. Reply. In a week, Abacus Plumbing is going to be like we saw a massive surge in web traffic, but not sales. What gives? Edit, huh? My Reddit ads changed to Delta faucets. Story 6. That the best time to start saving for my future really was all those years ago. Reply. And the next best time is now. Anyone who saves and or invests has regrets. It's impossible not to. It's just part of dealing with money. If you had saved all those years back, you would currently have a different set of financial regrets. Story 7. When I was 15, I realized rice isn't pasta chopped in small pieces. Reply. Couscous is pasta disguised as a grain. Story 8. When I was a 20-something regular cannabis user struggling to clean my pipe, only then realizing that's what pipe cleaners were for. Those fuzzy bendable tubes weren't just for childhood crafts. Reply. Yeah. I used to think they were for like water pipes and never understood it. I guess elementary school teachers got really good at deflecting from that question. And for regular pot smokers, get pipe cleaners. They're fantastic. Especially if you use a water pipe or the like with an actual pipe in it that gets clogged. Story 9. That it's called metal because it's harder than rock music. Reply. What really obvious thing have you only just realized? Wow. Story 10. In the song I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, it's the husband dressed up as Santa and kissing his wife. Mommy is not having an affair with Santa. Reply. Wait until you start questioning why Dad was dressed up as Santa in the middle of the night when the kids were all asleep and it was just him and Mommy. Story 11. I recently realized that howdy is short for how do you do. I actually just Googled it, and it's technically short for how do ye. However, my realization still makes sense. Reply. Relatedly, I recently learned, probably from Reddit, that goodbye is a shortened form of God be with you, which people in the Old England would say to each other when leaving. Story 12. My car key remote isn't broken, the battery died after nearly 10 years. Story 13. That loch, as in Loch Ness, is the Gaelic word for lake. Reply. Many miles away, something crawls to the surface of a dark Scottish loch. Synchronicity 2, the police. The lyrics go from lake to loch back to lake. Story 14. I should take this to the grave, but somehow thought Mickey Mouse was a dog until I was 17. I'm 24 now. One day I just saw Mickey Mouse somewhere and went, why does he have such a skinny little tail? It looks like R.A. Wait. Reply. This is probably my favorite one in here. It's even funnier because you wrote Mickey Mouse and not just Mickey. Story 15. That an Amber Alert was named after a child and not the color of amber. I thought it was like a code red or code blue type of thing. Story 16. In high school science class we were watching a video, and it was then that I realized reindeer are, in fact, real creatures and not just mythical beings for the purpose of pulling Santa's sled. Reply. Mine is similar. It took me until 2020 to learn that narwhals are real. I thought they were the sea version of unicorns. Story 17. That sign you see near schools with the two people crossing holding books? I was stuck in traffic a few weeks ago and suddenly realized it wasn't two women with purses. Reply. When my brother was taking his multiple question driving test, he failed that question because he put businessman crossing. He thought the books were briefcases. Story 18. Learned I was allergic to latex from talking to my friend. She told me that since I'm allergic to some citrus I may be allergic to latex and asked me if condoms bothered me. I responded and said yes, but they bother everyone who uses them. That's how I learned that burning and itching and a road rash are not normal after coitus with a condom. I'm 26. Story 19. I know Felix is the Latin word for happy, but only recently did I discover the name Felix is also known to mean lucky. Now I'm getting the irony of naming a black cat Felix the cat. For those who don't know, Felix is an old cartoon, and there's a superstition that a black cat crossing your path is very unlucky. Story 20. I was 50 fucking years old, when I learned that bats are not, in fact, blind. Evidently, I'm an idiot. So, if being oblivious to something so basic for literally half a century counts, yeah, that. Reply. It took until I was in my 30s for me to find out that the weirdly erratic flight path bats have isn't because they can't fly well. It's because they caught a bug mid-flight and then immediately changed direction for the next bug. They are really successful predators, and it takes a lot of tiny bugs to feed even a small bat. Story 21. Heard this on a podcast yesterday. Phase from that 70s show. FES means foreign exchange student. The end. Subscribe for more videos. Thank you.